Hi, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the talk so far. I'm Sarah, and I'm the data analyst lead with Shopify Partners.
Hi, my name is Todd. I'm a data analyst on the apps team.
And today, we're here to talk about the opportunities we see on the horizon in the Shopify App Store. To do this, we're going to be diving deeper into Shopify's data to provide insights, which will or may offer some direction, inspire some ideas, and also make sure that all of you are ready to capture all the opportunities coming down the pipes in the near future. So since we're on the data team, get ready for a bunch of charts. So this here is actually one of my favorite charts because it really shows that interest in apps are growing. And as Cal has indicated already in the previous presentation, shops that have stuck around for a year on average installs 4 apps or more. And in 2017, things are moving even faster. So it's great to see that the App Store is growing. But how do apps find success on the App Store? Here's a list of some really successful apps last year. And when we took a deeper dive into these apps, the common denominator amongst all these successful apps is the fact that they're able to address shop challenges. The 2 really successful apps that come to mind are Oberlo and Rewind. So what Oberlo was able to understand was that shops find it challenging to source products and fulfill products. So they created an app to help address just that. They help shops easily source, put products on the website, and fulfill the products directly from China, freeing up time for shops to do other things to help make the shops even more successful. Rewind was able to address some shop worries about losing their shop's data. So they created an app to address just that, to help shops back up their shop data. So it's great that apps from previous year was able to address our shop's main challenges. But what are the challenges this year? Based on merchant survey, the top 3 challenges we're seeing across many shops in 2017 is 1, customizing their store, understanding the impact of their marketing efforts. And what I mean by this is, which source of web traffic is driving the highest conversions to their shops? And where should they be investing their hard-earned money to get the most out of the most return on their investment? These are things that shops really need to understand to succeed on their platform. And also, of course, for most new shops coming onto the platform, to getting their first sale. Now that we've looked at some challenges, I want to talk briefly about growth trends in 3 shop segments, and Todd will be diving deeper into it later on in the presentation. First, industry. Majority of our shops are actually in the fashion and apparel industry, and it's followed by health and beauty, home and furniture, and food and drinks. This has been the trend for the last couple of years, but in 2016, we are definitely seeing a shift in growing trends, such as music and pets coming onto the scene. It's growing in 2016, and we're seeing bigger growth in 2017 as well. In terms of size of business, many of our shops are maturing and selling more. Also, Shopify is attracting larger shops onto our platform. And as Lindsay indicated in her presentation, shops that sell more products with us tend to purchase more apps. So this makes our app platform even more valuable to our merchants. And lastly, geography. Shopify is looking to further expand its international reach in 2017. As per Lindsay's presentation, despite the fact that we are a platform that mainly caters to English-speaking groups, we are seeing double-digit growths across all continents, in particular, South America and Asia. So the main message here is that we're seeing a lot of growth within Shopify, and also within a Shopify App Store. So you may be asking yourself, is there really an opportunity here, or is it just a place where big apps get bigger? We'll have an interesting stat for you. Of the top 25 apps in 2016, half of these apps are newly published apps within the year. So what does this mean? It means that the App Store is ripe for disruption. Newcomers are outperforming incumbents on many app categories, such as pop-ups, to chats, to dropshipping apps. And this clearly shows just because there's already a successful app out there, it doesn't mean that you can't break into the market. So how can you outperform these existing big players? We have a list of really great talks on tips on building successful apps on the App Store coming up, so make sure you watch out for those. Also, if you don't want to compete in this area, there are many ways to succeed on the App Store. I will now pass it over to Todd, who will further discuss insights, opportunities, and also more on our smarter App Store.
I don't think you do applause now. Maybe later. It's fine. Okay. Great. So as Sarah mentioned, over half of the most popular apps in 2016 were released within a year. But for many of you, starting a new app, you know how difficult it can be to get exposure on the App Store and gain traction early on. From a merchant's perspective, it's also very difficult to find apps that are right for them. So to help connect merchants with the apps that are right for them, last year we started rolling out a brand new, smarter Shopify App Store. At the heart of this shift are app recommendations. Thanks to some incredible work done by our data algorithms team, we are now generating per-shop app recommendations. And using that information, we are now delivering a recommended for you section on the homepage of the App Store when the merchant is logged in. We're also completely resorting categories on a per-shop basis and resorting the order in which categories are displayed on the homepage. We've even started experimenting with improving and customizing search results on a per-shop basis. This is a big shift for the App Store. It's no longer a singular ranked list that's the same for all merchants. Merchants are able to discover value that's relevant to them. And most importantly for you, more apps are getting exposure on the App Store than ever before. This app recommendation algorithm brings new opportunities to the App Store. And what I'd like to convey to you today is that focusing on smaller niches is a viable path to success on the new, smarter Shopify App Store. So how does the algorithm work? For a given shop, we take a look at dozens of characteristics of that shop, attempt to find similar shops, see what they have installed, and recommend those apps back to the original shop. So for instance, if you are popular among shops selling furniture, your app will then be promoted to other shops selling furniture. I'm going to walk you through three of the most important ways that our recommendation algorithm segments shops, highlight some strategies that you can use to specialize and grow within a specific segment. So first up is Shopify Plan and their level of sales. There are a larger number of newer and smaller shops on Shopify. And if you choose to specialize in serving new or smaller shops, you'll have a larger audience to capture. However, the willingness to spend money on apps is lower for newer shops specifically. Shops in our advanced plan have twice as many apps and spend 10 times as much on apps as opposed to apps on our basic plan. This is largely due to the fact that most of our newer shops are on our basic plan. So in general, it's difficult to optimize your app to fit both demographics, new shops, larger, more established shops, so it's worth thinking about targeting your app to either to one or the other. Creating various pricing tiers is also another option if you want to zero in on a certain type of business. If you want to focus on the smaller or newer shops, you'll have a larger potential audience, but again, generally they are less willing to spend. This is a quote from a newer shop. I'm interested in apps, but I don't necessarily have the money to spend on it right now. They're just getting started. So if you want to gain market share among newer apps, it might be worth offering a free or low-cost app. And then as the shops grow, market paid apps or services to them. Or go with a freemium model, which encourages them to join early so you can capture that market, and then have them pay once they start to see some success. Understanding the challenges for these shops is also important. So from our merchant survey, we know that the top three challenges for new merchants are driving website traffic, understanding website traffic and trends, and getting their first sale. If you can help with any of these, you'll be in a great position to capture that new or small business segment. Moving on to larger businesses, many of the challenges become more operational. So broadly speaking, these businesses are willing to spend money if you can save them some time. Apps that see success with larger businesses help with workflow optimizations, such as shipping and logistics, bulk actions, providing customer service at scale, or understanding the trends in their sales. Moving even further up market is, of course, Shopify Plus. We actually have a dedicated session for this tomorrow if you're interested in exploring this particular market. Another way that you could specialize is by servicing a particular industry. As Sarah mentioned, fashion is by far the most popular industry on Shopify, and many apps already do a great job of servicing this market, including lookbook apps, clothing sizing apps, VR change rooms is now available. Even more prominently, we have a lot of drop shipping apps, which do a great job of servicing fashion stores, from t-shirt printing apps to apps which connect to vast networks of clothing suppliers. Fashion merchants have the opportunity to augment their product offerings or operate entirely as dropshipping businesses, which is a great business model. We're seeing a lot of growth with these dropshipping apps. But for industries outside of fashion, there's not as many options available, so if you can offer a wider range of products, you might see success on the Shopify App Store. Also, due to Shopify being based around selling products, many shops that do services can find it difficult to wrangle Shopify to fit their needs. So if they're just looking to schedule an appointment at like a hair salon, printing chits at a restaurant, or selling tickets and organizing events, Shopify can be difficult for these merchants. So in my opinion, it's a little underserved currently by Shopify and by the Shopify App Store. So finding ways to help service-based merchants could be another ticket to success. A final takeaway here is that there is a lot of growth on the horizon outside of fashion. These industries do have specific needs. So if you focus on solving these needs, you'll be very well positioned to capture the growth that is coming to these markets. Industries like pets, adult, and music are seeing growth in the hundreds of percent year over year. I like to kind of think of these industries as maybe Shopify in 2010. They have thousands of shops, which is a decent-sized market, but things are growing extremely fast. A final way to specialize could be by focusing on a specific region or country. I'm going to explore this section by taking a look at some App Store search data, which gives us some insight into what shops are interested in by region. Here are some of the top search queries from South America. In terms of social, Facebook chat and WhatsApp happen to be much more popular in South America. Many shops are disproportionately interested in local fulfillment services like Correios or FedEx. And there's some interesting things in here which I didn't expect. There is searches made in local languages, so Spanish and Portuguese queries are in there. And country names like Argentina and Brazil also pop up here pretty frequently. So takeaway is, if you want to focus in on a specific country or region, it's a great idea to optimize your listing. That means making it multilingual or addressing the country or region by name that you're servicing. Another takeaway is that if you're looking to break into a new market, it's important to understand what types of services are popular in that region. Shipping and fulfillment services are often region-specific. Many social networks are also region-specific or disproportionately popular in various regions. So taking the time to investigate regional needs could be another ticket to success. A final takeaway on this topic is this: Shopify is running experiments in specific regions, so I figured I'd name these out loud. We have blog content being translated into Spanish, which is driving growth in Europe and South America. And we have small teams dedicated to understanding and growing in both India and Japan. While success is not guaranteed, these are the regions that are likely to see strong growth in the coming year. So, geography, industry, size of business. Our recommendation algorithm uses these aspects to segment shops. If you choose to specialize on a specific segment of shops, you may be promoted to other similar shops. This may mean that you won't capture all Shopify merchants, but you will be better positioned to capture the growth that is coming to that specific niche.
Thanks, Todd. So data is great, and it tells a really great story, but it's really hard to use data to predict new trends that are coming up. And the world is changing so fast, and new trends and opportunities are popping up all the time. So it's really important to be ahead of the curve with this. So if you don't already, I find following technology blogs or the Shopify forum a really great way to keep on top of these trends. Some of the more popular trends that I've been seeing across blogs is augmented reality, bots, machine learning, biometrics technologies, etc. I want to share a quick experience with you. just the other day, I was at Sephora, and they were doing this new technology, or trying out this new piece of technology where they're incorporating retail and augmented reality together. So what they did was something similar to Snapchat, where they use facial recognition technology. They scanned your face into this iPad, onto an app, and now merchants can actually try on products virtually without ever having to touch a physical product. Right now, it's not very prevalent, but definitely I'm seeing this trend growing more and more, and it's really interesting, especially from an e-commerce perspective as well. So there are a lot of cool things happening in terms of technology and the retail space, and we look to all of you to help bring these new trends and technologies into the Shopify App Store. So to sum it all together, there's two big takeaways that we want to impart on you. One, building an app that focuses on a certain niche will help you carve out an audience that will quickly grow your app in that particular space. And two, don't be afraid to enter a market that already has many successful apps. Because as we talked about earlier, of the top 25 apps within the year of 2016, half of these apps are newly published apps. So if you have a great idea, paired with great design and usability, your app can be the next top 25 Shopify app. Thanks. All right.
So we have maybe just a few minutes for a couple of questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll send around the mic.
Hey, wow, loud. Number one you said was shop customization. Can you elaborate what kind of apps go in that category?
Sure. So you're looking at apps which help with changing the look of the front end store. So you've got apps that do maybe changing the navigation bar is a popular one. What are some other examples from that? Yeah, I mean that's a pretty great example. Navigation is just something that is built into a lot of themes, and people are pretty happy with their theme overall. But then they're like, I want to change this part of it or that part of it, or I want to have a more complex navigation menu. So apps can help get in there and help people customize that.
And maybe a take one from the
Sure.
Unite app. So how do you make an app multilingual? The App Store is only English right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we don't do great support for multilingual. There's not like a built-in feature for that. The Shopify product and the Shopify App Store is all based in English, but there are some products that are region-specific, and they just will put 2 languages in their app listing. There's one for South America there that does the local fulfillment services, and they just list everything about their app in both languages in a single listing.
Awesome. So I think that's time. And if you guys have further questions, feel free to come find us. We're going to be around the conference, or find us on the Unite app.
Okay.
We're more than happy to have further conversations.
Great.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
everyone.